Hey everybody, it's me, Ashley Brooke. So I'm just coming on to fill you guys in on what's been going on with us. So we were at day 12 of exercising with my son, and he was doing really well. He was even getting down to like walking 40 minutes, which is really good. But then he got sick, and he's having issues with his gut, like microbiome issues. He's screaming in pain, poor guy, and I had to call the paramedics. And it was really stressful because I have issues with sirens. I have issues with repetitive sound because my own autism. And then all three of us have issues with like seat belts, like any kind of like strapping us into a bed or anything like that. So my kids were panicking because they didn't want to be put on the gurney. He didn't want the belts over him. He was freaking out. He was screaming. And then my daughter wouldn't sit in their seat that they have, to go over her body, because it was the kind that goes like around the shoulders and, around the waist. It was super intense. This is why I never go too far anywhere, because it was crazy. They were both screaming, and then them screaming was freaking me out, and we're all three of us all three of us were like losing our minds, and my poor son's in pain. So luckily I had a friend there. I was not going to ask him for a ride, but I was like, this is too much. So he ended up taking us in the car instead. The paramedics just sent in, the report to the hospital. We got there, and it was so intense. Then they wanted to do, an IV and put my son, in this machine to, scan him for some, I don't know exactly what it entailed, but I was like, that's not going to work. My son's not going to leave an IV in his arm. There's no way in hell he's going to keep an IV in his arm. And then to hear him screaming like that, when there was 7 nurses trying to stick an IV in his hand, I'm just like, it's not, you can need to do maybe an x-ray or something so they decided to just do an x-ray instead, and it seemed like he just needed to maybe cut down, maybe less food, maybe. Right before this happened, he ate, my friend had brought McDonald's, to be nice. I didn't tell him to, because we've been on the diet thing. So he had already eaten. So when my friend brought McDonald's, Ozzy, of course, has no he has that oral sensory input need. So he will constantly snack if you let him. So he saw the food, and then once he was eating, and I don't want to be mean and pull it away from him. So it's getting to the point where I'm having to really I do not want to be in the emergency like that anymore. Also don't want to you have to really think about it. If you have an autistic child that has that sensory, oral sensory input issue, of course we want to make our kids smile and make them happy, but my autism, I cannot handle screaming in a hospital. I was literally I handled it well, and I was soothing him and everything, but by the time I got home, my whole body was I'm still recuperating from it. My whole body was super tense. Yeah, and I found myself being stuck, after everything was done. I respond promptly in emergency situations, because I guess it's just how my autism works. I will respond promptly, but once everything is done and I'm just sitting in my own skin, I'll find myself stuck. I don't know if I'm going into a shutdown mode, but I'm staring off into nowhere, and it's not the same as daydreaming. People always oh, daydreaming. No, I'm not daydreaming about anything. My mind is seriously frozen. I'm just feels weird. So that's how I know when I'm being I have too much stimulation going on, overly stimulated. So that was intense. So a lot of parents I went through this. I want him to be happy. When he's smiling, he likes to eat food. So I gave him what he wants before, and now it's getting to where the last this happened on Friday night. So that's why we haven't been doing our exercise videos, but we will start again as soon as he starts feeling better. He also has a cough and stuff. So I've been having to cut down his food. I'm giving him half of what he usually eats at a time, and making him space his food. He's not happy about it. He's even cried a few times, and he keeps saying, He usually wants to eat ramen, and I'm not letting him eat that right now. And he keeps going, soup, soup, soup. I feel so bad. I don't like saying no to my son, but I have to say no because it's like I'm not being nice to him if it's hurting his body, you know? So he's getting used to it now. It's been since Friday we've been doing this. And so he wasn't happy at first. He still kind of like was kind of bugged, but he don't cry. Oh, there's my daughter crying. I have to go, you guys. But yeah, just updating you guys. We will be back working out pretty soon though.